Okay, now for the fun part. Let's make some arrangements. I have gone through my cupboards and found a few vessels that I like with our beach white theme. My favorite being this Francis Palmer pottery piece. Francis is an amazing artist in Connecticut who makes these gorgeous hand-thrown pottery pieces, and this is one of my favorite. That's sort of amphora shape with its little handles. It almost feels like a Cretan or Greek urn of sorts. And I think it's good for a slightly larger arrangement. This has a large reservoir, a big belly. I like vases that hold a lot of water because your flowers don't run out as quickly, which means they stay fresher longer. So I have already filled this with water up to about 2 fingers from the top. And if you remember, our Bavaria came with that little flower food packet. So let's go ahead and use this whole packet in one vase. So if your vase is approximately this size or something like this, the one packet is great. If it's gonna be a smaller container, this would probably be too much. So let that go in there, it'll dissolve. You can kind of slosh it around a little bit. And then I'm gonna start with my spray roses. I really love spray roses, sometimes more than average tea roses, just because I feel like they're so delicate. There's a lot of flower on a stem with a really pretty green leaf. And because they have the foliage, it's a good way to start an arrangement. So I'm actually gonna take 5 of my stems here. Again, remember, once I cut them, they have to go in the water within 3 seconds. So I want to kind of gauge where I want them. I want them to be a little lower because they are going to kind of act as my greenery filler. So that means if I hold it here, looks like I need to take about 2 inches off the bottom. So I'm just going to hold them in my hand, give them a little tap, clip, and in they go. So this is what's so great about them with their leaves, is that they really do add some fullness to the arrangement. Now, why don't we just go ahead and add some hellebores just to fill it in. What I like to do when I'm working with an arrangement of this type is work my way around the vase, kind of finish off all your edges, work your way around the perimeter, and then kind of come into the middle. Now, having said that, 2 things. If this is going to go on a hall table or against a mirror or something, then obviously you wouldn't want this to be a full round piece. It would need to be a little more flat-sided. Or if you're going to put something like this on a coffee table, then think about how you're going to see it. You're going to be looking at it more from down, whereas if it's on a console table, you may be looking at it from the side. So just keep in mind the perspective where they'll be placed and how that'll affect your design. So I'm adding green hellebores, which I love, just letting it kind of hang over lightly. Kind of got this nice little movement to it, let it do its thing. I think 3 stems is going to have some nice effect. I'm working on this turntable so I can turn it, but even if you don't have a turntable, just spin it around. Now I think I'm going to add some peonies. Peonies are beautiful. They open up quickly. Sometimes they last a long time, sometimes they don't. They're a little bit of a fickle flower, but that's why they're so expensive. Oh, these smell heavenly, and why everybody loves them so much. So get them in water, make your arrangements, and enjoy them for as long as you can. And I'm just giving them a fresh cut. Just gonna fill in a few spots. These will continue to open and be quite large. Okay. Try not to cram your flowers in. You don't want to have so many in there that they're actually pressed together because you need to leave room for them to open. And also, you want to make sure that you really have no stems or stuff in the vase because all you want is clean stems. No leaves or anything in the vase. You just want clean stems in the vase so that they last longer. Okay, and always kind of go in and jostle them around a little bit so they can fall where they may. This one I feel like needs to be a tiny bit shorter. If you err on the long side, you can go back and shorten your flowers easily. If you cut them too short, it's kind of hard to make them longer. Now we have this lovely Bavaria with its really pretty green leaves. So I'm just going to stab a few spears of that in there. I'm leaving all this there because I really like the greenery. And that fills in the center really nicely. And you can see it's just a nice, simple, straight from the garden, beach chic, summertime arrangement. Nothing too packed or formal, in a beautiful vase, beautiful flowers. You really can't go wrong.